So, I figure I should start this stream by explaining the title. Admittedly, I probably don't need to, but I feel like it's special today, even if it's not the most special title of all, you know? Something I've noticed, you know that how sometimes we end stream and there's a little bit of work left to do? I mean, it's very often that we do that, right? Well, I've realized for the past few weeks, we have always ended the stream with the local not finished. Like, either somebody started it and had to give up halfway, or nobody started it. So, we're doing the local today. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I am well fed off of 4 slices of pizza and a little bit of apple cider. So, let's just dive straight in. If the game will load... Okay, there we go. Phew. I got startled there for a second. It's going to be really interesting to handle. If we're going to be getting the local, I'm going to have to grab the stuff to Dillsborough and separate it from the stuff to the Henderson mines. That might be a bit of work. I'm about to be well fed off a triple cheeseburger and fries, plus the worst root beer I've ever tasted. How do you screw up root beer? How does somebody make a bad root beer? What? That does actually remind me, though. We, back on the vacation, back in September, we made it out to a restaurant, a pretty notable restaurant in Chicago, the Berghoff. And oh my god, their root beer there was heavenly. I think they made it in-house. It had a little more vanilla than usual, and I loved the way that it tasted because of it. Hope your Sunday's doing alright. As for me, I had to work early, and now I have to work an event tonight. Oof. That's sorry to hear that. That's rough. Busy day. Yeah, today's been okay so far. I'm a little bit annoyed because I can't finish work on a video, so I can't, like, give members early access to a video because the project isn't done yet because we have to wait for parts to ship in. But aside from that, it's been alright. Kind of laid back. Kind of slow. Not too much to mention. But that's always nice, you know? Always nice to have a quiet day before the stream begins. Porter that's up for sale. Its original paperwork from HK Porter states that I saw the 6K tractive, but it has. You forgot the best part. It's 6,069 pounds of tractive effort. Come on now. Oh wait, hold on. I'm on the wrong track. Favorite engine and railroader so far? I think it's either the C or the D46. I don't know, I just kind of like the chonk of them. Like, they're not too chonky, they don't feel oversized like some of the higher end engines. But they don't feel undersized. Like, for instance, the Locomotive we're running right now. It's funny that I say, oh, I like the D46, I like the C46, and yet here I am. Running an A23. Tomorrow, a new train game is going to be released. Railroad Corporation 2. Sounds like a tycoon game. Actually, it kind of sounds like one of those games that you like, kind of like OpenTTD, you have to connect point A to B to C in order to make an industry chain. Is that where the comments about Railroad Corporation 2 are going to end? It sounds like it's kind of like a... Or is chat not scrolling? Nope, chat's scrolling. Never mind. Railroad Corporation 2 is the same as the first one, but instead of running trains from the early era of railroading to the Wild West era, it's modern steamers plus, electrics and diesel. So the better era. You know, that was always kind of funny to me how games like Railroad Tycoon 3, where you could run, like, what's the engine? The Rocket next to the Mallard. The general would like to know your location. Hold on, let me dox myself. That'll be a responsible thing to do as a streamer, right? Time to boot up Train Valley World now that I have a random desire to play that sort of game. Those sorts of games are fun. There was one I really liked, but I don't remember the name of... But its progression was not strictly tied to money. Like, you know, a lot of these games, like, oh, well, just get more money and then build more stuff. But no, this game had, like, if you wanted to get the better locomotives, you had to actually do certain industry chains, and they would give you a different type of money. It was neat. It was cool. Hey, yo, Katie, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Just got a Steam Deck. That's exciting. Need to figure out how to get Railroader mods running. I'm sure you can somehow, but good luck. You're going to need it. So we'll have to grab those. I have to grab these. Is there anything else we need to get? Wow, it's actually a pretty short local today, isn't it? It's mostly stuff to Dillsborough, plus like 1 car to the farm supply and 2 to Stenzel. Well, I guess there's also the stuff to Wilmot? It's Wilmot, right? I've been running this place for a few weeks now, and I still can't remember that this is Wilmot because I keep thinking it's Wesser for some reason. I'm a competent streamer. What do you mean? What way is Mudge? Oh, Mudge is already facing the correct direction. Perfect! Let's sneak out of the yard a little bit. If he doesn't need to turn out of the, if he doesn't need to turn around on the Y, let us requisition the Y. We hit over 2,000 hours? Let's go. I still think I'm only at like 650, which is really surprising considering that I've played this game once a week for how long now? Actually, sometimes more than once a week. Yeah, I'm only at 685 hours. That feels kind of surprising. Fair enough on the hours as well. Other games, model rating stuff. That is true. That is true. And I do play a lot more Splatoon than I play Railroader, admittedly. And yeah, I do kind of have to focus on the model trains and video editing sometimes. Yesterday I had something happen that made me happy. I sent a voice message singing happy birthday to the girl. Aw, and just it made her day. That's cute. That's sweet. Why is this level forcing me to make cars? I don't want a car dependency. I want the Art Deco sci-fi rail-dependent utopia that only exists in my brain where it's 1932 and 2644 at the same time. If only. But you know that if they did the Art Deco style, they'd force you to make maglevs. Not maglevs, sorry. They'd force you to make monorails. Steam-powered maglev. I mean, how would that even work? Would it be steam power to generate the electricity to make the... How would that function? Also, you know, let's actually just stand here and watch Mudge from trackside as he does some switching. Doing a new save called the Blue Ridge Central, just running between Whittier to Alarka Junction. Remember when the Western Highland Coal Company was that way? Me too, actually. It still is that way if memory serves me. Right, it's still just a coal mine. And the rest of the route. Heyo, Jack, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Are you saying the GG1's Dreyfus Hudson's... Wait. You forgot a comma between GG1's and Dreyfus Hudson's. And so... I thought that was supposed to be one statement like, what do you mean the GG1's are Hudson's? Excuse me? That is not how I was supposed to read that. I'm curious how Mudge is actually going to manage this. Maybe we should have a stream that's just professional switching, the sport. Oh, speaking of trains, though, before I forget, let's get the passenger train running. AI road, full speed, full forward, full send. That looks like we're just going to have everybody going to Dillsborough today. No stops at Wilmot. Maybe it's a... You know... That would actually be really funny, making a railroader save where there's two identical copies of the time saver, and, like, the freight cars have all been positioned out already, and you just get two people to speedrun it. Like, side by side in parallel, see how well they do. Okay, so he's doing it the smart way. Let's go. Last few bites of my triple cheeseburger are now smaller than my homemade normal cheeseburgers. I mean, it is a triple. What do you expect, you know? What was your favorite Fallen Flag road? I feel like you've actually asked this question before. I think the answer was Great Northern, and it still is. Great Northern is one of my faves. The paint job they have is cool. I really like the mountain running. And of course, I've ridden the Empire Builder Lord knows how many times. ASMR watching somebody else run trains. The best new live stream. Wasn't it the Great Northern who had the I don't know the Wellington disaster. Let me look that up. Built the longest railroad tunnel in the U.S. That, I believe, is true. I believe I've ridden through it. It's 7 miles long. It's absurd. Okay, hold on. Google Wellington disaster with a capital R, just because it's funny. There was an avalanche that happened in Wellington, Washington, that killed 96 people in 1910. What is the Wellington train disaster? Ah, yeah, it hit 2 Great Northern trains. I see. I like how bad you can see. I like how you can see how bad my FPS is based on the desync. Yeah, I love seeing the train just suddenly come to a halt out of nowhere. Just like, bonk. For example... Ah, never mind. That wasn't that hard for bonk. Who do I kid? Hey, yo, Mike. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Would you consider me a solid regular in the chat? I think to earn the status of regular, to be knighted by yours truly, generally, I would say that for somebody to be a regular, they'd have to be here for about a month. And it's been a little under a month because we only got back to streaming at the start of October, so it's only been about 3 weeks. You got some time. I just tuned in, and apparently my brother has a band concert that nobody told you about it, so you just have to go. I mean, have fun, enjoy the concert and support your brother. But that's annoying. Nobody told you? Ugh. Hey, Irish guy, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to us watching Mudge pick up a caboose. And then once he's out of here, we have this entire yard to ourselves. Build a train, any percent speed run. Did you know there's a diesel shay? Yes. There was one diesel shay built. I think it was built out of parts of old steam shays. In the end, it only had about 400 horsepower, and so they didn't build any more, and it was kind of just a custom build by the railroad that ran it. There are multiple diesel shays? Really? Because from my research, there were only one. But I could be wrong, This isn't something I've thoroughly investigated. Donk. This is like the perfect screenshot opportunity right here. Oh yeah, that was a sick picture. Broad Top or the Rio Grande, who's a superior narrow gauge? That one's tough. I like both, but I don't really know either all that well, if that makes sense. It's weird. I'm in this state of limbo where I know enough about both to like them, but I don't really have strong opinions on either. White Pass in Yukon only because of the Mighty Machines episode that made me fall in love with it when I was younger. You know, a reasonable reason. Though, actually, if I think about it, I guess right now I slightly lean in favor of the Grand. And the reason for that... Hold on, let me focus on figuring out what track I actually need to go to first, real quick. Uno momento. Oh, wait, I can do this so much better. I got a plan. I recently looked up the Cumbres in Toltec because I was trying to come up with inspiration for how a version of the Little Loop Railroad could come to life. Because, you know, last stream we ran the Little Loop, and some people were saying that I should make it into a permanent layout, and I was trying to get inspired with a slightly different style of aesthetic than what I'm used to. And so I was looking at the Cumbres in Toltec, and that would be it would be such a sick style to like combine lush desert with slightly barren mountains, you know? Like, not completely barren mountains, obviously, because that's not what the area is like, but not completely forest. And I think that could be a fun sort of vibe for the Little Loop. This Shea serial number 949, which was converted to diesel in 1945. Ooh, okay. So there was a Shea steam locomotive that was converted to oil, not to oil, but to actual factory. Okay. Because the diesel Shea that I know of is one that actually looks like a center cab locomotive. That makes more sense. Cumbres and Toltec Scenic is wonderful. However, look at the... I didn't look at the Durango and Silverton. I really should. You know what? I guess I'm opening Google again on the live stream. I'm a responsible streamer. Alright. Durango and Silverton. Oh, that first picture on Google is perfect. Oh my goodness. Now that's a vibe. Nope. Accidentally hit my second keyboard. I was considering doing something like the Cumbres and Toltec, or now the Durango and Silverton for the Little Loop, but like, again, the one big limiting factor is Muns. Money hard. Heyo, Eon, welcome to the stream, I have a story to tell you, why pray tell? Perchance, do share. should have a local mixed train with a coach or a combine called the Super Sun Local. Unfortunately, there's no combines. I would love to do it if there was a combine, you know? A combine for a mixed freight train would be perfect for this game, right? Also, I realize this run is going to be really funny because we have a surprisingly low amount of cars today, and so we're just like we only have a total of 5 cars that need to make it beyond beyond Dillsboro. So that's going to be an experience. I drove the Transcontinental Railroad Backcountry Byway, 90 miles off-road in the Utah desert on the original roadbed. That's fun. Off-road? Did you get to see the golden spike? Still has original trussels. Remnants of a few old towns and stations and even a service sighting. And I have video. Yes! Let's go. Restore it and run it as the main line. I don't think Eon owns the highway. V&T was originally going to be narrow gauge. You know, for the longest time, I thought the Virginian Truckee was narrow gauge when I was younger. It kind of took me by shock to learn that it wasn't. I'm not going to lie. My life got flipped, turned upside down, if you will. And we grab the 3 cars from over here. Sent a Camelback, Nade thoughts. Lehigh Valley, 440 Camelback. My thoughts are that I generally like opening Discord only every now and again on the stream. And so being asked to open... Like, I'll open my phone, I'll check Google, I'll check Discord every now and again. But I feel like we've kind of reached a point where I don't want to do it too much for a little bit, you know? That's my thoughts on the matter. Camelbacks are always interesting. I was actually considering grabbing one in ON30. Because there is a conversion kit, but it's kind of expensive. And I don't know what engine I would actually convert into a Camelback. Just build a track under the cover of night, or do it like the Sumter Valley guys did in the 20s when they needed track through a reluctant landowner's property. Build it while the courts are closed. Nice. That's funny. That is the classic railroading experience, TM. Heyo, Pixelated Sheep, welcome to the stream, welcome to the stream. The Richmond Railroad Museum has blueprints of a camelback for sale. Those would be cool to get, but sadly we wouldn't be able to use them for anything. Oh, actually, that would be really cool if, like, I made myself a more professional workspace for my videos and just had the blueprints of a camelback sitting in the background footage, like, on the wall. That'd be fun. Sir, what are you doing? Oh, don't mind me, just placing rails for the new Eon's Transcontinental Cross-Country Railway Experience and Funhouse. Move along. If the police ever stop you to question you why you're building a railroad, just gaslight them into believing that you have the right to do so. Even if you are a one-man crew, it doesn't matter. That would be one heck of a headline. A single man rebuilds entirety of Transcontinental Railroad without permission, without anybody stopping him. I think this siding right here is too short. Our train is too big for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to shove everything down the hill to the siding over at the tannery. And we're just going to kick them. We're going to let them roll on their own because we're not going too fast. Then we'll use the locomotive to grab a caboose. Drag the caboose with us all the way down to the siding, drop off the caboose, and then get the engine run around to the front of the train. I think that's the plan. Just wear a high-vis vest, a hard hat, and carry a clipboard. No one will question you! Honestly, though, you'd be kind of surprised how much you could get away with things by just saying that. Local news tonight. Man rebuilds Transcontinental Railroad and somehow doesn't cause Manifest Destiny issue while doing so. More at 1337. Did you build a choo-choo? Yes. What did it cost? Gino from Smash Brothers. I know that's not the joke we were going for here, but YouTube, I don't want to be demonetized, and I think it's funnier to imagine that back in the time period where they made the Transcontinental Railroad, they actually just had Gino from Smash Bros, and he built the entire railroad. Stay hydrated, folks. Water important. How would the tale of the Canadian Pacific and Union Pacific roadbed graders passing each other work then? Oh wait, sorry, not Canadian Pacific, Central Pacific. I forgot that was a railroad. it was. It was Waluigi's side. That's why he's not in Smash Brothers. Does rum and Pepsi count as water? I mean, it's liquid. Counts for something, right? Oh, come on. Well, these cars have rolled a little farther than I meant them to, but whatever. I guess we'll just have to go into Silva proper to do the thing. You know, that'd be a really interesting alternate timeline where the Canadian Pacific and the Union Pacific were the ones that met in the middle. What a wild history we would live in then. Had to step away to get pizza pockets from the oven. Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you need food, you need food. If you need water, you need water. Don't force yourself to stick around for a live stream just because the funny man is here. Is that thing gonna stop in time? Okay, it is. It is. Good. Phew. I was... I was afraid we were going to overshoot yet another sighting here. The funny man was here? Did I miss him? Yeah, he left 15 hours ago, unfortunately. Had to go to the hospital. It's very sad. He broke his funny bone. I consume about 8 to 10 bottles of water per day, more during the summer. Dang. I usually go for like probably about 4 glasses a day. Though some days I'll drink more when I have more salt intake. Gonna play some Stardew Valley, see if maybe I can catch up on some of the time I've missed by playing Minesweeper for 4 hours straight. I still need to play again sometime with my significant other. but just haven't had the time. What is the connection between the Canadian Pacific and the Kansas KCS, other than the Canadian Pacific being a big railroad that bought the Kansas City Southern? The main reason that it's so important is simply because it means there's now a railroad that connects Mexico to Canada nonstop. The merger provides the first railroad connected to the U.S. that links the countries to the north and the south of the U.S. So it's a pretty big milestone, you know? In short, a full-on North American transcontinental. Exactly. Exactly. Canada, USA, Mexico, the comes. That just reminds me of that Game Changer episode where they realized that cum was not a swear. According to the censors. Cursed. I really want to play Stardew with several of my friends, but they all have it on Nintendo Switch and I have it on PC, and there's no cross-platform multiplayer. I mean, easy solution, TK? Just buy a Switch. Not a cheap solution, but an easy one. Do you think I can afford one with how much I spend on trains? Nope. Welcome to the club, TK. Welcome to the club. I've been muted for an hour and a half. You just been sitting there, not realizing that the other person can't hear you. That takes a certain level of skill. Also, since you mentioned those guys finding out cum isn't censored, I must inform you that the Star Wars Cantina ban... What? I mean, hey, it's catchy, but wow. Yeah, I love having chronic migraines, he said while having a migraine. I'm lucky. I haven't actually had a migraine in like a year. Could be worse, could be unmuted in a Zoom call, but yeah, oh god, no. Please. Dude, that is my biggest fear when I start up OBS, is that I'm going to start the stream early on accident, and it's not made any better by the fact that we did start stream on accident early last Friday. That was... Ah! It's like one of those reoccurring nightmares you have, like, you know, the ones where you're in the back rooms. Except instead of being in the back rooms, you're in a Zoom call and you forgot to mute, and everybody's looking at you because you're weird. When we were in online school, I accidentally left myself unmuted and was doing Darth Vader breathing, and the teacher randomly stopped and said, "Who let Darth Vader into my classroom?" God, that's an embarrassing moment you will never live down. I done did it. Hey, we got a hot box on the railroad. Also, fair warning, Mudge, there may be a car that I intentionally left hotboxed somewhere on the railroad. I'm not going to tell you where. I'm just going to let you know that somewhere out there is a car that still has an active hotbox. There's a Twitch streamer that accidentally went live last year while just sitting at her desk eating Taco Bell. Oh, that's so good, though. That's so embarrassing, but that's so funny. I already found that car. It's where I got my hotbox. Oh, no. You still haven't found the car. At least I'm willing to bet you haven't found the car. Bonk. Oh, wait, hold on. I chose the wrong train. Bonk. It's in Whittier. There's a car. Wait, how did you... Wait, I'm confused. Are you saying you got it because you picked up the car, or you got the hotbox in that general area? Ah, it's because you got the hotbox in that general area. I see. Where is your hotbox, actually? I don't see... Oh, never mind. There it is. Oh, good lord. 44%? Wow. Up to you what you want to do with that, Mudge. Good luck. What's your favorite ON30 engine? Honestly, if I were to ever answer that question, I would second guess myself like every 5 seconds, because I like trains. They're cool. They're fun, you know? Right now, admittedly, my current excitement is the 280, the outside framed ones. I am a sucker for outside framed locomotives. A bit of a sucker for outside framed locos. I've now sent my gaming laptop background images to Tiro Valley 282. I somehow blew up with the water out of the top of the glass and on an uphill and with a full tender. Ah, we love injectors. My computer's just been some drawing that I've had for a very long time. Which reminds me, I haven't practiced drawing in a long time. I do HO, and when someone asks me what my favorite engine is, I blank instantly. You know, I wish it was more Rio Grande 030 stuff. The only one I know of is the BLI C16. There's actually a surprising amount of Rio Grande stuff, Katie. It's not. It's mostly the modern stuff like the K27s, but Mountain Model Imports has done a C19, their own take on the C16, including one that's closer to the Class 70 in style than the modernization of it. They've done a C25. Oh wait, no, AccuCraft was the one that did the C16s and the C25s. My bad, my bad. But Mountain Model Imports did a C19, K27, K28, K36, K37. And I think AccuCraft also made that tiny little switcher diesel that they had, the number 50. They're kind of a pain to get, though, because they're extremely expensive. So, like, I can't blame you for thinking they weren't a thing, but there is a little bit of a selection in 030. Goodness, I've tried getting one of their K37s before in a bidding war, but it wound up at $650. And $650 was the cheapest I had ever seen one of those go for. Heading up to Connolly Creek to load up some logs for the Whittier lumber mill. I know it's called Whittier's sawmill, but it's still a lumber mill as it takes logs and makes lumber out of them. Isn't that what a sawmill is, though, too? Yeah, I just clicked on a K36 for $2,609. Yeah, it's, they're expensive. I think there is a website, though, that you can find that's selling them for about $800. Which, still kind of expensive, but a lot more reasonable, you know? Price of ON30 is nothing compared to HON3. The price of HON3 is nothing compared to ON3. I mean, that's kind of to be expected, you know? Because ON30, one of the major benefits of it is that it's cheaper through the metric of you just use HO track. HON3, ON3, you know, you kind of have to get that all custom stuff, and so it's a little more of a niche because it's harder to get the tracks for it and thus harder to get the trains running. And so because of this, the people that want it are usually willing to pay more because it's built less. And so this stuff is even less common than some of the weird things you can get in like ON30. You can get an HO. You can get an N scale even. Oop, 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 oop. Let's not pin it on a curve today. I don't feel like accidentally killing the entirety of my train. I broke a DM3 again recently. I can't drive the DM3 without it going boom. Breaking news! Gen Z man from fictional land of Deer Valley can drive a steam locomotive, but not a standard! I mean, isn't that the one with the weird stick shift gearing? I only drove that thing once, and I never touched it again. Man, we're cruising 40 miles an hour? Not bad, not bad. Currently looking for a modern 440 American to buy, hopefully for Christmas, and then find someone to make transfers of my CF&N Railroad's tender lettering. I would look up... What was it? Highball Graphics is the one I used for my water slide decals. Now, do be warned, first of all, they're water slide, they're not dry transfers. And second of all, they, it's like $40 for a sheet, which really isn't a bad price. But generally speaking, you want to make sure you have your graphics correctly spaced before you buy the decals. You want to get the measurements, you want to know where you're putting them, because otherwise you're going to struggle and it's going to be a pain in the butt. That reminds me, though, I do have to actually get some transfers eventually. We have so many new locomotives for the W and PK that I really kind of just need to get some more decals and lettering and numbers for them. I should also probably focus on actually decorating the layout soon. That would be a good idea. Oh, hold on, actually, that reminds me. I need to do something real quick. Stream, watch the train for me and make sure it doesn't derail. I'm going to put it at 40. Actually, we'll put it at 35. Why not? Okay, where is this? Where is it at? I swear I saw it recently. There? Maybe? No? Whatever, enough doing that. I can't find it. Saw the article about the Shay. Yeah, the Shay! They're finally getting Mount Emily #1 up and running. That's gonna be an exciting sight to see. And it's actually kind of funny because, you know, they have two logging locomotives, both numbered #1 and #2. It's kind of silly. Why is Mount Emily being #1 being moved to the ORHS? Because the ORHF, well, it's the ORHC, but the Oregon Rail Heritage Foundation owns the Mount Emily #1. It was donated to them many, many years ago, but they never bothered because, like, it was on static display or something, and they didn't really need it at the time. However, because the 4449 and the 700 aren't allowed to run anymore, and their other locomotive, the 197, isn't operational. They're restoring 197. She's going to be operational at some point. There was one guy from the Union Pacific who actually said he would match however much money was put into the restoration project. But the problem is that the railroad they run on, the Oregon Pacific, has banned them from running locomotives of a certain weight because they break the rails. They actually split rails if you're not... Sometimes. There was a time back in the past where the 4449 and the 700 did a double head, and they had to stop doing the operations because they legitimately broke a rail under the 4449. These engines are heavy, they damage the tracks, and so what they've said is we need smaller engines. And so they were grabbing Mount Emily #1 because it's the engine they own. It's an engine they own that they can run for actual factual steam heritage trips. And the only reason they haven't restored #1 yet is because Polson #2 got dragged into the mix. The current head of the ORHF owns Polson #2, and he's like, yeah, we can continue running this for a bit. He wants to have it, I don't know if he still is like, if he's like actively getting it down to Albany, because he's also the guy who owns the Santa Maria 205, which runs on the Albany and Eastern sometimes, and he was planning on buying Polson #2 to run alongside her. So eventually #2 might move down there, and so they're kind of trying to restore #1 just so they have a permanent member at the museum. 4449 and the 700 not allowed to operate again. That sucks. Well, they are allowed to operate, actually. They do run very short trips occasionally, but they just don't run it over the course of the main line. It's like a back and forth in the yard. And I know that if the engines were ever given a chance to go visit another railroad and like the chance was actually accepted, it'd work out fine. Going to dip because the migraine is... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Irish guy. Take care of yourself. Hopefully that migraine goes away. I don't think it will, but fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Expand the layout, as if I have the ability to do that. If I'm gonna expand the layout, it would be building an entirely new layout. Either building a small layout like the Little Loop, or maybe I could build something like I could build like a donut layout of some kind. That could be fun. All I need to do is ask my folks to get it. Wait, to buy the 4449? Because I think that would be an extremely expensive ordeal. Just a sneaking suspicion. Just got work, I've got to go. Train is stopped in Ela. Got it. Sorry, I have to leave the job half done. Nah, Mudge, if you got a fire call, you've got a fire call. You got to go do that. No worries, no worries. Oh, the Bachman. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That makes a million times more sense. Does make me wonder, maybe I should start considering Christmas, both to get my dad something and both to figure out what I want to ask him for. that reminds me. I should have asked my father. He went to a train sale the other day. I should have checked in with him and asked him. There was a locomotive there I was interested in. It was a Bachmann HO scale low drivered 460 with sound. I should have asked him how much it cost. He said, I guess the answer is too much money, or it already sold by the time he got there, though, because he didn't really tell me. But I should have asked, you know, I should have still checked in. Oh well. Plan is to get the engine, get the measurements to get the transfer in the center of the tender, and send the measurements with the decal so it can be sized correctly. Gilded, generally speaking, it is better to build the decal sheet on your own. It is actually easier to go and design the sheet using a program of your own and get all the measurements perfect, because instead of sending the decal to somebody else and saying, hey, please make a sheet for me, like, you can just make the sheet yourself. Admittedly, you might need a program to help you edit the file, help edit the image, but that's what I did. Saved me a lot of money. I don't have a printer for that. Dude, it's not the printer. It's the design. Like, you don't send the measurements with the decal. You send the decal with the measurements already 100% in place. That's the thing. Like, if you're going to make... Or not if you're going to make, like, you don't... Brain is spacing out here. Bah. but I think I've gotten the point across. I hope I have. It is generally easier to do that work on your own rather than to send it and then say, hey, can you fix that for me? At least in my experience. Figure something out. Exactly. You'll figure it out over time. Just don't be like me and only partially know what you're doing. I screwed up a couple of things when I did my first decal sheet. Pro tip, don't use Walter's salva set. I love how when I go over here, you can feel the frames drop. I mean, I guess you guys can't, but I certainly can. Goodness gracious. Alright, chat, I have a random conversation topic to throw into the pool while we're all quiet. One idea I've had bouncing around in the back of my head for a while is building an entire model railroad on a budget. Building one that's fairly small, fairly cheap, and not too skill intensive, right? Have a little series of like, oh, you can build this model railroad. I know you can because you're not that bad at this, even though you think you are. The question is, the two questions that I have that I figure I should throw out there to get some insight on, and also just to keep chat moving. Is HO or N scale better? Which do you guys think is better and why? And would it be better to get a steam engine for a little extra money or a diesel for a lot less? Ponder, chat. Ponder as we grab this one singular flat car from the main line. Heyo, Darknut, welcome to the stream, welcome to the stream. Right in time to miss the question. I'd say Steam Loco. HO solely for maintenance. Had to work on a Bachmann N-Scale 440 long ago, and that was the worst maintenance experience I've ever had. Also Steam for more because Steam looks cool. That is very true. Let's see. The one main reason that I think N-Scale would be better is simply because it would make it easier to set up the baseboard. Because all we would need is a 2x4 sheet of plywood and we'd be good, right? But HO would be easier to actually manage, not just because of maintenance, but also because it would be easier to couple the cars together, it'd be easier to put the cars on the track, all that jazz. And Steam for more, because Steam looks cool. You know, you aren't wrong. I'm up for seeing that. Model railroading isn't always an expensive hobby. HO is more detailed but pricey depending on the locomotive. N is more space-friendly and cheaper, but way easier to damage. Actually, I feel like I've broken more HO stuff. But specifically a Bachmann 280, in my opinion, that would be too expensive. Nah, it would have to be a USRA 060 or bust. Like, anything more than that, and we're getting out of the budget range. The 280 is too expensive. Like, we're talking truly budget here. 080 because heavy. 080s are too expensive. We can't buy them. Like, if we're making this project budget, it has to be an 060. I'd love to go for a fancier wheel arrangement, but I say 262 Prairie is a better option. The one concern I have about the Prairie is literally just it's $20 or $30 more. I do agree, though, that it would be the better option generally. But we're already spending, in this hypothetical, we're already spending more on the locomotive, and the main goal for the budget is to stay within a $500 range. And admittedly, I don't think if we went for a slightly more expensive engine, we would bust that. But I'm not risking it. I ain't taking any chances with this idea. Due to the itty bitty N scale B&O C16 040 that has like a 1/4 inch wheelbase or something stupid small like that and run it on 1 inch radius curves. I actually have one over here. I think it runs, it's not quite a 1/4 inch. It's closer to like a full inch. Actually, no, it is. No, it's not. It's closer to half or a 3/4. Oh, 60 switcher for maybe an industrial style model. Well, it probably would have to be industrial, considering everything. Just with the tiny size and the size of the layout and the fact that we do want some amount of switching for it. Okay, bonk, 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 bonk. Get Thomas the Tank Engine. Ah, yes, the most realistic American railroad running literally Thomas the Tank Engine in industrial environments. Who cares about the children's TV show? Nah, that's not a thing. That doesn't exist. Could get a British Pannier tank and customize it because can't afford Baldwin. See, I don't want to... The idea for this project is specifically to make it beginner approachable. I don't think that decorating the locomotive with a paint job is actually something I want to do. Would this budget model railroad start with a basic starter set or go from there or build it up piece by piece? It would not be a starter set. So, I've thought about doing a starter set with a steam locomotive in it. I was thinking of getting like one of those Bachmann ones you can get for $130, right? They suck. For the purposes of the layout that I'm trying to design, they are absolutely terrible. The layout needs to fit within a small footprint. I've determined that about 3x4 feet is how big the layout should be because I don't want it to take up a bedroom and I don't want it to take up... I want it to be something that somebody in a college dorm could reasonably bring in with them. That's the goal, right? So it kind of needs to be about 3x4 feet. Well, there's a problem. All of the Bachmann starter sets only come with 18-inch radius track. They don't come with 15, and so you can't have them fit on a 3x4 foot board. So you get in an oval of you're getting a circle of track. You're not even getting an oval because most of the starter sets these days actually just get a circle of track, nothing more. You're only getting a circle, and you're not even allowed to use it because it doesn't matter. It's not worth anything. Problem number 2 is that the power packs are not designed to be connected to anything unless you manually cut the wires. So you have to use Bachmann Easy Track. And Bachmann Easy Track is expensive. If anything, it would be easier to go for Atlas Track, you know? Atlas is pretty cheap and actually still pretty reasonable to use on a layout of this scope, of this caliber. But the problem is, in order to get that to work, you'd have to cut open the wires. And that's something a little outside of the scope of what I would like to do, especially because it would mean that the person building the layout would have to buy a brand new tool that is only used once. You'd have to buy a wire stripper and maybe a soldering iron, and you'd only get to use it for this one particular purpose. So already, two of the three reasons that you would want to buy a starter set are kind of just dumb. They're not worth it. And then we get to the engine. And the engine has one major problem with it, and that problem is the front coupler. It doesn't work. It's not functional. The front coupler on all these starter sets, they're static. And so because of this, if we're going to have a mild switching area on the layout and have it so there are spurs facing each direction, you can't have an engine with only one functional coupler. So the starter sets are just kind of not effective, unfortunately. So it would be better instead to buy Atlas Track, a transformer, a locomotive. Even if it would feel a little more expensive in some ways, overall it would be easier for the purposes of the project. What about a USATC S100 switcher, as it's an 060? They can go for 150 pounds. You know, is that euros or pounds? Whatever the case, you can buy a USRA 060 for $90 USD. So, like, pounds. Yeah, for pounds, that would be closer to about $200 USD. That's like twice the price of the USRA engine, so not really a great option, unfortunately. Especially because I'd rather buy a steam engine firsthand so that people run into less issues caused by the secondhand nature, you know? That's one of the reasons that the diesel plan would be so much cheaper, is because buying a secondhand diesel is so much easier than buying a secondhand steam engine. Bachmann HO 060 Porter side tank. Last I checked, there was $60 for the... Wait, what? Where did you... I'm assuming that's not new. That's a pretty good price, though, dang. Train World, bro. Really? Train World? I didn't see that, actually. Okay, hold on. We're going to Google. Side tank. That did not result in what I was looking for. Okay, 060 Porter. That resulted in literally nothing. Porter. That just got me people at stations. Are you sure you've seen this recently? I bought mine several... okay, there's your problem. Yeah, if you got it several years ago, no, they're not in Train World anymore. USRA 060s are the best bet right now. Unless you want to buy... I mean, I guess Thomas the Tank Engine, he is only $80. If that's what you want to get, be my guest. Hey, Roberto, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. One problem my 060T had was that for some strange reason, after 5 years, the motor just stopped working and every replacement burned out instantly. That sounds like an issue with pickups. Maybe giving the motor too much power? Like, I know it's kind of a generic assumption, but it's the best thing I can think of on the spot. AI road. 20 miles an hour. Let's go set a few Z over here. Good lord, there's barely any space to fit this, is there? It looks like it works, but eesh. That's tight. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. I just checked Terrain World. It's not easy finding an HO scale DC engine on the cheap Steam. Yeah, I just looked at Terrain World and I realized that the front coupler issue is also the case with the cheapo 060s. Why, Bachman? I can pick up a pair of couplers for $3. I can pick up 2 pairs for $6. And yet, when I'm spending $100 on an engine, you won't even give me 2. You'll only give me 1. Bachman, why? Oh, scratch that. We're moving on to the plan of, we're moving on to the plan of diesel power. Screw Steam. Unless it's at scale. I'm back. Hey, the migraine went over. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome back. Welcome to Stir Complains about how expensive steam locomotives are in HO scale. Most of the ones I've seen have the old hook coupling system and not the knuckle. I think the ones that you can buy from, like, Train World, those ones have knuckles, but I do believe that, yeah, a lot of the older ones don't. It's kind of scary. It's kind of weird. Now I'm making myself a cup of noodles because I need some food. I've never actually had a cup of noodles. A lot of the kids at my school back in the day used to eat them, but I never did. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my parents didn't want me to have it for some reason. They did like doing that a lot of the time. Okay, new question then about this whole model railroad project idea. So HO scale, if we want to do Steam, HO would be too expensive, but we could do N scale. So the question is, what's more important to you guys? The ability to have Steam on this hypothetical layout, or the ability to better handle your trains? What do you guys think is more useful to have? What is more important to have the iconic choo-choo, or is it more important to actually be able to handle your trains? I say that as if people won't be able to handle N-scale trains, but what do you mean by handle trains? N-scale is small enough that some people have problems actually getting the trains on the track, getting the trains to couple correctly, and sometimes they can break and people will just never be able to fix them, you know? That's what I mean by train handling. I mean, the alternative, we could buy... we could instead purchase a 440 that looks like the one that was at the Golden Spike ceremony. I think N-scale might be the better option, and efficient in space. Train handling. Let the fight begin! I have giant hands, I need HO scale. Exactly, there's a great example of why HO is a scale that's better to handle. Cannot deal with the fine details of N-scale. Because as somebody who has worked with N before, getting couplers in place on certain cars is a pain in the butt. And I know it's something that most people will never have to do, but oh my goodness. Coupler replacements are pain in N-scale. In HO, it's like, just drop it right in. It's easy. It's a walk in the park, but... Alright, link that. Release the handbrake. Copy to coupled. AI road forwards at full steam. And now, we head on back to our switching job. We gotta have a singing battle. Yes, we'll have an entire opera, like Romeo and Juliet, the Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera, my bad. The Phantom at the Opera. I could do a small scale, but my hand is awfully bad. I play guitar, yes, but precision is not in my hand's vocabulary. Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons I think HO might be the better option. And going for a diesel would make the project way cheaper. Hey, Olak, welcome to the stream, welcome to the stream. The big trouble we've been causing today is talking about a budget model railroad plan for the channel at some point. Both are tremendously expensive. Actually, I've found that both are surprisingly cheap if you know what you're doing. I mean, I think with the parameters of a transition era diesel branch line that is purely for freight operations in HO scale, we could probably build it for about 400 USD. And heck, 400 might be going over the estimate, actually. I think we could probably do it for even less somehow. Ah, well, I'll have to keep toying with this hypothetical. Challenge: build a railroad for only $1. I don't think that's possible. That sounds like a nightmare TV show where you have to haggle with people to buy things. Like, you have to go to a drug dealer, pick up drugs for like $1, and then sell them for like 20 and slowly work your way up the chip. Maybe not drug dealers. Drug dealers might be a bad example for a TV show, but one of my Stardew cows just gave birth. I did not have this plan in the cow food budget. See, easy solution, TK. Scrap the cow. If you're having problem with the cow food budget, make the cow part of the food budget. At a 12 by 12 foot end. Ooh, that's pretty good. But it always lost when your house burnt down. I'm sorry to hear that. That fucking sucks. Gory and defeated moment. It's like you just got coconut mauled, but instead it's you just got gory and defeated. Had a TT layout in my room, but it being in the middle of the room was quite a hassle. That is one of the reasons that I think N-scale might be the better option, is because you can fit an entire loop of track in a 2-foot space. And that makes it way easier to fit a whole model railroad in a bedroom, because you can put it on a shelf, and like when you want to run it, you can easily put it in the middle of the room. But if you just want to have a train running in the background, you don't have to have it in the middle of the room, you know? You can just have it on the shelf, you can just have it sitting there. Remember, they don't make Hungarian stuff in N-scale. I'm talking about this not through the perspective of you specifically, but more through the perspective of the idea of this budget model railroad. Donk, 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 donk. I still need some SNCF Steam thing. For how much you talk about them? Absolutely. I did not slow down in time. Oops. Whatever. It only took about 25% damage. We're fine. We have nothing to worry about other than the financial loss that we will be having. You think Raritor will go on sale in the Steam winter sales? Maybe, but I doubt it. I would not hold my breath. Mine started out as a 2x4 set, then after I got my own place, it grew. It was one of the last... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks even more that it burned down in the house, and Jesus. Though that does bring up an interesting point, actually, that I hadn't really considered. I think I originally thought of the Willamette and Port Caroni as a permanent railroad. Like, the 4x6 foot variation of it would be how it would be its final form, you know? Like, there wouldn't be anything else. There wouldn't really be any growth. But it kind of reminds me, no, I can run the layout as I can expand it over time. It's a sectional layout. I can just add new tracks. I hope that the devs of Raritor plan a big update for the 1-year anniversary. I think they are. All signs point towards they're probably... I mean, for heaven's sake, we know they're working on stuff. We have the public beta branch, right? Model of a RAB order. I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. An AG-M62 costs what amounts to about $216 USD. That's not too bad a price, honestly. $216 USD for a train is surprisingly cheap in some cases. Unfortunately. I might go out to Europe at some point. I was talking about this with my mom, and I can probably convince her to go to the Giant Rail Museum in Eastern France, and I can actually go see some stuff. From one of the pictures I saw, they actually cut an entire Baltic in half, just to show how the steam locomotive works. That's impressive. Actually just chopping a steam engine in half. You know, maybe that's what they could do in Japan. You know how we were talking the other day about, like, how some... Oh, hold on, wait, I'm stupid. How one type of Japanese locomotive is, like, extremely common in preservation. Like, they have they have 175 examples or something like that. Maybe that's what they should do. They should cut some of them in half to show how steam engines work. Down the middle, I might add. Well, yeah, how else would you do it? And I'm probably wrong, but it might be the last of that Locos class. I would hope that it wasn't the last of that Locos class. That would be one heck of a way for a preservation of a steam engine to go. That was a bit of a hard dunk, but at least we didn't derail this time. Just cause that boxcar even more structural damage. As you do. $216 is roughly about 40%. Jesus. Makes in a month? I can understand why you would call that severely overpriced. Goodness gracious. That is one of the weirdest contexts about, and one of the hardest things to remember about international communities is that different parts of the world have different sort of scales of economy, I guess. I don't know how to put it exactly. I don't know how to word it. I sometimes forget how fortunate I am to live where I do. If I do go there, it's going to be kind of weird. Imagine being in French and there's just a random Canadian teenager that doesn't speak a lick of French and knows what half the engines are. Why stop at half the engines, TK? Or, sorry, not TK, God. Brain, not good, Celestia. You know I haven't slept enough when I mix up names like that. You gotta go for all of them. Go for 100%. Had to leave for a bit. Hey, look, speak of the devil and he shall return. Nice. There's a theme park in the Netherlands that is having their vintage steam narrow gauge locomotives being turned into electric because they claim to not make enough money off them despite polarity. Popularity is what I assume you mean. Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say polarity, despite the fact that these engines have electricity in them. Well, yeah, they're gonna have electricity. They're upgrading them. Really, it's probably that they just don't like the fact that it costs them too much money. By an accountant, I mean works in front of a computer 8 to 16, so about 8 hours a day, doing her own work, goes to the bank about once a week, has to teach young adults of her, about 20 years how to use Microsoft Excel, and half the time her colleagues are calling in sick and she has to, that's so annoying. So yeah, Lion's share and more for 216 divided by $0.04 a month, so about 500, 600 bucks. Yeesh. If only your character had an option to splash a bucket of water on the hotbox. See, that's not my problem, because that's Mudge's hotbox whenever the heck he gets back on the stream. Which he might not today, you know, he has firefighting work to do. He volunteers at a local station in his area. So we might not see him for the rest of the day, but if he ever comes back, that's his problem. Where is the passenger train? Dillsboro. Oh, wait. Somebody forgot to throw a switch. I see, okay. That somebody was probably me. Oops. Somehow can afford to have 2 motorbikes and 2 cars, pay all bills, have food to put on the table, and still somehow go on 3-day vacations every school break. Hey, that's not so bad. That is not what I would expect, considering the circumstances, but hey, that's actually pretty good. Note that all 4 of those vehicles are not brand new. Well, of course not, but still not bad. I googled it and it's only giving me stuff about the 232U, which wasn't the 464 they showed the power of flex tape. Although the 232U is apparently nicknamed the Divine Bad. Nice. Can you imagine just knowing that your train is being hauled by an engine simply titled the Divine Badass? Nothing more, nothing less. Just the Divine Badass. Oh, it's just called the Divine? Oh, you're saying that it was a bad... I see. Okay. That makes sense. A locomotive called the Divine Band. Yes, it would be awesome. That is absolutely... But you know, I could get a very big, chunky ON30 engine, like Kit Bosch one, you know, scratch build one, and just build that. Build a, what would it be? It would be like a 480 210 new scratch build project. Wait, no, that was the wrong hotkey. What am I doing? Is there anything I need to worry about on this train, hotbox-wise? 95%. 62% is the lowest that we have. 89 is... no, 62. Never mind. We're good. We're good. Bagels or English muffins? Bagels. No question. Just bagels. Has to be a 464 though. Stay true to the source material. If it's gonna be a 464, I'd have to chop up a New York Central Hudson. That's sacrilege. Be me scrolling through Twitter. Someone made a post about their OC female transformer. It's a JCB road roller whose bosom is in the steel roller. Nearly 10k likes. Yeah, sounds like Twitter. Sounds about right. Cursed. Or blurst, actually. Depends on who you are. I'd say cursed, though. I'm sure I know many friends who would want to see the source material. Get a 10-wheeler, give it a trailing truck. I mean, that is a possibility, but it would be kind of tricky to actually make a functional trailing truck. SP had oil-burning 480s, as well as the Great Northern had 480s, but the Norfolk and Western had the most mass-produced, I think over 300 in total, 480s Baldwin built for the Norfolk and Western. If we're talking narrow-gauge 480s, I'm sure if we had radio around, he would absolutely give us 70 million different 480s, but I don't know of any off the top of my head, but I do know a way to get a 480 in ON30. I also know how to get a 210 in ON30, or a 210-2. A 210-2 could also work. Though right now, I'm actually looking into maybe buying a geared engine. It's the only type of locomotive that I do not have in ON30 right now. I somehow do not have a geared engine. FE and MV209. I don't know. Hold on. Drum roll. What the hell? Oh my god, that boiler. That's so flippin' chonky. Faraci's Nationales do her standard for... I see somebody has gone back and looked at the old railroads in line. tech tree. Which is not a bad place to find this sort of stuff, admittedly. Because literally the Railroads Online tech tree is in that Google search for the FE and MV 209. And then literally in the search, just like scrolling down a little bit. Oh, hey, look, another 280 from the National Railways of Mexico or whatever. I should probably hit the brakes, right? Yeah, 102's in Wilmot as we speak. Let's, just barely not overshoot that siding. Through my Googling, apparently there's a lot of models of the SNCF 232 TC for a lot cheaper than the 141R I wanted, plus having a tank engine could be nice. Based on the stuff they added lately, I have a sick feeling they're just going to spam plantation equipment, like some random scratch-built 2-axle water tanker from a plantation in the middle of somewhere in Texas. Honestly, I kind of feel like they won't. Personally, I feel like honestly, I don't think we're going to get more rolling stock at this point. Like, we kind of got everything we need to complete the game. What's the point of having another tanker, another gondola, you know? Another boxcar? Alright, now that that's set, before I forget, let's go to ELA and set up a fusee. It's in the plans, apparently. They're adding Bell's Gap #1. I know they're adding Bell's Gap because they're adding the 060, but just because they're adding an engine doesn't mean they're adding freight cars. Get a Heisler. Heislers are expensive, dude. In a 130, like, I've done the math. It would take me about, like, $500. Because they're only available on the second-hand right now. On the second-hand market. It is pricey to build these things. It's pricey to get them. Not yet, but they'll add more stuff later. Is that written out in the plans, though? Is that actually on their list of things to do? New York Central had 462 tank engines built for the Boston and Albany with New York Central Harrods and Kettering. The ones I know of are the 466s. They had 462s? I actually find that kind of hard to believe. Are you sure they had 462s? I think I broke Stardew. I only have 4 chickens and I somehow wound up with 5 eggs. Hey, maybe you just forgot to grab your eggs yesterday. I know that's happened with me a couple of times where I've gone into the pens and I've realized there's an extra. thing. Speaking with the devs, they do mention it every once in a while. Ask enough, they'll say they'll add more, but no date or specifics. See, to me, that's not strong enough for anything. I want a date before I believe something's happening. Especially with a game like Railroads Online. Alright, so we have 1 car to pick up, 2 to drop. Handbrake, handbrake. Should Google the Sierra Railway, interesting operation. If you want an interesting operation, I would recommend looking up the Hetchy Railroad. That's a fun prototype to look into. And it interchanged with the Sierra. Mount Tamalapias, exactly. It's a glorious little railroad. Also, ow, oh, you managed to hit your head? I'm sorry to hear that. If I didn't have my headphones on, it wouldn't have even hurt so bad. Honestly, I feel like having headphones on, if you bonk your like sideways into a wall, it would make it worse, if you ask me. Because then you'd have to deal... But then again, it'd have padding, but you'd also have to deal with the hard plastics being more, like... It's a more centered pressure than it is a spread-out pressure. I'm gonna dip, work away, so my boss will allow me to come into work... Ooh, nice, nice. Congrats, you got a slight reprieve card. Take care, Gilded. I'll see you around. See you around. Okay, well, I thought we were clear. Dang it. That's annoying. Guess who's torturing himself again? Me! Hello, JHR. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. How's the cold water? The cold water's fine. We're only about halfway depleted after having started the day at full. I managed it at just such an angle where most of the pressure... Oh, was on the adjustable part with the sharp edges. Wait, I read that backwards, I think. I read it as if I did have my headphones on, it wouldn't hurt so bad. And so I basically said, like, oh, I think it would actually be worse if you had your headphones on. Yeah, it would be. I was right. I was just wrong about the assumption that you had them off. Oops. Another wacky and forgotten railroad is the New York, Ontario, and Western. Didn't we bring that up a couple of streams ago? Maybe not with by name, though. I couldn't remember what it was. But there was that one weird railroad that took a cumbersome route. It was trying to be a main line, but failing terribly. Just watched a clip of a dude having a headbutting session with a goat for fun. Oof. No thank you. That sounds like a one-way trip to a hospital. Actually, maybe a two-way trip to a hospital. How would a two-way trip to a hospital work? I have no idea. Don't look at me. Don't ask. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna wait a few hours. We don't have the space here for the 2 cars at Slamika, so let's just, empty that. Oh wait, I still need to put the... I almost just left town with these cars to slay Mika, thinking, oh yeah, we finished the job, all is well. No. No, we didn't. Fun fact, hobbits are in Warhammer 40k. Honestly, not surprised. That sounds like a Warhammer thing. Somebody actually recently recommended that I maybe try painting Warhammer minifigs at some point. Could be a fun, like, side gig for the channel, maybe. Mayhaps, perchance. Oh yeah, hold on, I need to... So you're coming in here, you're coming... Okay, never mind. I forgot that I set that to the main line appropriately. Let's go. You know, for some reason, a butt ton of 40k stuff has been appearing in my recommended. I have never been interested in 40k. 40k is actually really... In my opinion, it's fun to learn the lore about, but I haven't actually learned the game itself. It's a very goofy setting. And it's always fun to see minifigures painted, you know? It's always cool to see miniatures. I mean, of course, I'm gonna say that I'm a modeling channel, right? Hey, Ginger, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. I hit the wrong button for a moment there. It's going all right. It's going all right. Things are a little quiet here on the stream, though. You know, we don't have Mudge around to help run other trains. And this local job has taken us a surprising amount of time. It's almost been I think we're gonna finish this job after 3 hours of stream. Goodness gracious. This might be the only job we do today with how little there is going on. Spotted your channel with the vacation videos you made when you had to do those little cars of the vacation you were going on. Really liked the videos, and I was glad. Hey, glad you managed to pull it off. Thank you, thank you. I'm really happy I was able to pull that off too. Dude, that boxcar in the moment. One thing I didn't mention in the video is that boxcar was actually way more stressful than I let on. It caused a very massive argument between my father and I at one point. Fortunately, you know, we worked things out. It wasn't like, oh man, this relationship is falling out. Of course it wouldn't be. Like, it's just a boxcar, but that was so hard. Looking back at it a month out, I'm impressed I was able to do it. I'm really proud of myself, though. Really proud I was able to finish that in the 2-week time frame. And you want a fun fact? We're going to be doing it again. Not the vacation layout stuff. Some people have said that it could be fun to make it into like a permanent setup, and I agree. I think it would be a lot of fun to make into like a small layout, a small permanent setup. But time crunch. I'm actually behind on work right now. One of the projects for the Halloween setup is it's supposed to be done by yesterday. I don't think it's gonna be done until tomorrow though, because we don't have the components yet. So we're gonna have another little minor rush to deal with in the coming weeks. So that'll be fun. Fun with like 3 asterisks. Considering that IRL locos take 6+ hours, I say you're doing good. Oh, we're doing great! I mean, it admittedly helps that we have the power to fly around the train, right? And we can just magically press a button and a couple things from miles away. Do you make your own art for the channel, including your little VTuber avatar? Sadly, I don't. I wish I had that talent. I'm trying to learn how to draw. It's very slow, and I keep giving up because I keep getting frustrated. I really need to get my head in the game and just get it done. But no, this is done by a friend of mine, Umbri. I usually pay her to do some art. I've actually paid her recently to get some more things. We'll have some more channel emotes soon. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me find the preview of one of the emotes that I got. I love the way this looks. It's so perfect. I love the vibes that it's giving off. I've ordered a small set, I think like 7 total. Hopefully they'll be done soon. Fingers crossed. Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife is playing in my head. I'm looking at that. This is... Me when I show someone a picture of a Dubosque and they respond with anything along the lines of, that's cursed. I mean, are they wrong, though? I actually don't remember what the Dubosque is. I know we've talked about it on streams, but my memory is terrible. Okay, we have no hot boxes, or water is going down at an acceptable rate. I like that emote. It's so good. It's so perfect. Unfortunately, it's not really going to be a part of the PNG tuber. It's good, but I will be using it in videos occasionally because it'll be a great way to showcase frustration other than the anger emote, you know? I've been planning on doing something similar as a channel concept where I do modeling and play games. I am honestly thinking of maybe splitting things up a little bit. So that we have, like, the channel be mostly about modeling, and then I'll have, like, a Twitch channel for playing games. I'm still not sure if that's the right call right now, but I've actually been considering it for most of today. Is whether or not it should be in one place, or whether or not I should, like, try and separate a little bit. I'll be talking with some people later today about that idea. Because I'm wondering if maybe by having these constant live streams, I'm kind of scaring off viewers from the modeling side of things. But the hardest part is, how am I supposed to gauge that? How am I supposed to do that? Because the people who are going to talk to me are the people who are going to stick around no matter what, you know? So I can't really tell if I'm actually doing a bad thing or a good thing here, you know? It's basically an inside-out two-sit... What? Okay, hold on. I gotta look this up. Dubosque. Images. Oh, so it's a 6'2". That would be... a C11C? That thing is surprisingly classy for how strange it is, actually. Gotta say, I actually kind of like the looks of that thing. It's definitely cursed, don't get me wrong, but... the Dubosque, ain't so bad, surprisingly. You have plans to make a Discord for your channel? Oh, don't worry, we already have one, actually. It's in the description of every video and of every live stream. It's available to the public. There are some secret chats that are for members only and supporters only, but, like, most of the channels are available for anyone to try for free. Okay, try is not a good word here. To use for free. To try for free implies that it's like a free trial for 30 days. Ah, yes, you want to do the Discord? Too bad, you have to... God, that would be such a terrible plan. Technically, it's an 031-1. Oh, right, because the French do that weird chicanery. Then again, I say that, but the way that they do it in, like, German and in Germany and Europe is actually way better than it is here in the US, in my opinion. Read, especially in the description. Wow, aren't you demanding a lot, streamer man? Alright, hold on, Eon. I got you. I got you covered. Uno momento. All we need to do is... where is it? I need to grab... Copy. Paste. There you go. Oh, is that better? I refuse to resize this. It just makes it so... I don't know if it makes it worse or if it makes it better, but it makes me laugh, and that's all that matters. Last character is cut off. Oh, don't worry, hold on, we can make this even worse. And it's more than just the last character, actually. There's like 5 characters here. There you go. That's better. Can you imagine somebody joining the stream and just seeing this at the top of the screen for no reason? Alright, we can disable the source that says, but what if funny? Fine, fine. Something interesting about the Dubosques, they technically weren't Myers. I don't even know what Myers are, admittedly. I don't know what they did, I just know they existed. It was done like that. Okay, it was done like that to make the piping for the compound simpler and less prone to breaking. Not bad, I guess. I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Is it... Wait. When you say the front truck, do you mean the wheels in the middle? Or do you mean the actual factual driving wheels? Myers like a diesel loco in the way that it has two power trucks, except for the fact that the couplers are mounted in the... Oh! Oh, interesting. So what you're saying is... truck-mounted couplers are actually realistic. Hold on, I gotta go yell at my dad. Yell the Discord link to your dad. He doesn't actually have any servers. I've seen his Discord account before. All he has on it is me, my sister, and our parent. Which, admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of that last one, but, like, I understand why he has to communicate with them. And I also recognize that while I have my troubles, he has more sympathy for that person than I do. They say there's a prototype for everything. On next episode of There's Not a Prototype for Everything. There's not a prototype for everything. We find prototypes for something that doesn't exist. We create them using AI-generated slang words that we invented 15 minutes ago to make you think that we're cool. Bonk. 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 Wait. I'm stupid. Oh my god. I really just, huh? I uncoupled the car that I very much needed coupled. Oops. And I just did it again! Wait, what am I... Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm smart. I'm smartish. I didn't do it again. I did, however, forget to throw the switch. Throw the direction. Myers were like relatively common globally. The main purpose of the joke is actually that my father just really doesn't like body mounted couplers. Or truck mounted couplers on anything. So to show him there was a prototype on a locomotive that he may have never heard about. So then we'll have to pull out the 2 cars that are there. And we can push in the 2 cars to the fuel company, and then we'll sort out Locust Pinco. It shouldn't be too hard. The Locust Pinco, this spot is almost full here. This car is like 95%. We could probably just wait an hour. Wow, this job really is going to take 3 hours, huh? I mean, maybe there's a reason that the local lifestyle is something that we usually see people not being able to complete. For such a short train, this takes a long time. Emily is the Stardew Valley equivalent of the girl from Livin' La Vida Loca. I am not cultured enough to know what Livin' La Vida Loca is. A song by Ricky Martin? Again, I don't know who that is. I am not aware of this. I know the name. I don't know the importance. Actually, will there be the... Okay, there'll be space. Never mind. We don't have to wait for that last car. We'll just leave that last car for somebody else to deal with in the future. It'll be the next local's problem to give them a 5-hour run instead of a 3-hour one. Sometimes I forget you just... I know, I sound like I'm way older than I really am. And I feel like I'm way older than I really am, and then sometimes I'm just hit with the fact that, oh right, I'm 24. Also, what the heck? Why was that only at 12%? I think someone's winning a game of pool at the place next to my house. I can hear cheering through the wall. I mean, hey, it could be something other than pool. Somebody's winning a game of Calvin ball over there. Idea game of pool in a pool. I think the dynamics would fundamentally change how the game plays, but I also think that it would work surprisingly well. Could be really fun if, like, one of the challenges of the game of pool in a pool is that you have to hit the ball within, like, a certain time period. So you can't just, like, slowly swim around. You have, like, 5 minutes to plan your move, and you have to move there and get it, kind of like a chess clock in a way, you know? You actually have to swim across the pool to line your shots. Or, like, run across the tarmac, basically. I think it'd be more interesting if you had to swim through the pool, like you didn't have the option to step out of the pool in order to play the game. You had to push the balls while in the pool. It is Sunday. There's this game called, I think, Flatball, Foot Bleu, Fat Bile. I don't know, but I hear it's on a. Really? That's actually kind of cool. No, a pool table in a pool of pool cools of stuff. The challenge is just the water. Okay, important question, Celestial. Is this hypothetical pool table secured, or is it just freely floating in the pond? Or in the pool, not the pond. Let's have it flow, why not? I like that mentality. Hold on. Here's the brake. We damaged this car. We didn't damage it any more than it already was. Perfect. Alright, to the interchange we go! Now I'm going to set this up on AI Road for 20 miles an hour, and let's go turn around the passenger train while we're here. Passenger, let's go ahead and select literally everybody. Copy to 5 others. Don't think we're in the station area though, so we can't actually load. Apply handbrake. I am starting to wonder if maybe I should make a slightly different save compared to the other two. Like, maybe I should make... Because I feel like we're reaching a point where we've kind of done everything for this save, and it would be good to hop over to another one at some point. Maybe have, like, multiple worlds to jump between. I'm wondering, however, if maybe I should try and design a little bit of a larger railroad. Something closer to Silva to Alarca Junction. But instead of servicing, like, 70 industries along the way, it only serves, like, a couple of smaller big ones. Here goes Stir making more projects he's never going to finish. Exactly! Exactly. We got to start something so he can sit there, look at it, give it a thumbs up, and be happy, you know? Say, we made it far enough. I'm just starting to wonder, though, if maybe it would be a good idea to have a save that runs, well, basically from Alarca Junction to Silva, as I mentioned before. But instead of servicing all the crazy big industries in Bryson, just focusing more on the main line running. Could be a fun save to try. Perchance, perhaps. I'll have to talk with my supporters about the idea. If we want to start more projects that'll never finish, hey, somebody fund the Little Loop Railroad becoming a permanent setup. Hey, Orson, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Goodness, I really should move this telegraph pole at some point. It would make this railroad look so much better if the Wyatt Elo was actually functional, you know? A new face, maybe chat will liven up a bit. Perhaps, perchance. I don't know why I like saying perhaps, perchance so much, but I do. Or, Circularly stream will just die early. What did I miss? Let's see, what did we... We've had a lot of conversations today that have actually been a little more memorable than usual. Okay, that car just came to a full halt. Oops. I feel like today we've talked a lot about random model railroad plans. And currently, we've talked about new save plans, apparently. Alright, bonk. Bonk. Handbrake. Oh, I should make it so that one of these stops at Ela. Perfect, perfect, okay. Sorry, it was video editing. Hey, let's go. More YouTubing. Video editing has become so much more fun for me in the last month or two. I used to consider it basically just a part of the job, and like I just didn't enjoy doing it. But I don't know what's changed. Something about it is just more fun to me now. I mean, I'll take it. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to be more passionate about my work. It's just interesting to me, you know? I wonder what happened. I've actually started working on my videos again. I might actually have a channel before the heat death of the universe. See, for me, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but it seems to be that if I start a day working, I get a job done. If I don't, I get nothing done. It's very kind of annoying. I think it's like a frame of mind of like mild ADHD symptoms, but I should get a proper diagnosis someday. Rather than just assuming that I have ADHD. There's at least 3 types of my steam. I don't even know what the main. I only barely know what the main steam locomotive even means. I don't know Myers. My problem is that I dislike the sound of my voice, so it takes some of the joy out of video editing. That can be one of the hardest parts. One of the parts that sort of disassociates yourself from these projects, you know? Because it's always so weird, because we hear our own voices in different ways than they actually turn out. And I know that's just because of how sound echoes, how sounds vibrate, and how that happens within the own context of our body and our own vocal cords. Doesn't make it any easier. I don't know how I've gotten used to it. I think one of the reasons I might have gotten used to it by this point is because I've just been doing it for so long. For me, it's that if my brain doesn't automatically come up with ideas for a video, it's not going to work, and I can't force my brain to make a topic work. That is just life. It is hard to force ourselves to get in those mindsets. And to truly embrace the work we're doing if we're not interested in it, you know? True, going from 20-ish years of only editing videos for church or for school projects to editing for YouTube is a challenge for me that I have been finding to overcome. Yeah, it's they're very different environments. And voice is one of the things that makes them so different, you know? It's not all of it, though, because I personally feel that editing a video for somebody else is easier because it puts a deadline. It puts a stricter deadline on me if I know I'm doing the work for somebody else. And so I'm more likely to actually get it finished for some reason. Oh, wait, hold on. I am stupid. Oops. I forgot to remove the fusee. I am a very talented human being. What do you mean? Who's calling me stupid? Only I can call me stupid. We can call you Stirpid. If only we had more like actual channel moderators here, so I could just say, "Mods, ban this man." I don't know. Why does my name, my username online, lend itself to so many puns so easily? What the hey? I'm a bit unstir on that one, because it's a stupendous username. What next? Are we going to pull out the classic steroids again? This is turning into a disaster. Clearly, once you draw attention to the idea, everybody's going to fly off and comment on it. I think we've kind of reached a point where if I want to aim for like roughly the 4-hour mark, I'm not actually going to be able to do that. So I think what we're going to do, let's go get this engine restocked on fuel. She's running a little low. Bring her back to spawn, and then we'll probably call it there. So we'll probably have like another 15 minutes. Latitude designs of Meyer steam locomotives are designs from British locomotive builders Kitson and Company and W.G. Bagnall. I don't know either of those. I do not know enough about Myers, and I don't know enough about British manufacturing for this information to actually tell me much of anything. Oop, a little bit just faster on that curve, huh? Probably around this one, too. Oh, no, never mind. Stand corrected. One of the funniest projects was where we spent 5 days at a ranch in New Mexico filming a series for a church. And then 8 years later, so later, oh, that ranch is in the news because of a shooting. Yikes. It is a small world, huh? Mikey, I will make a comment. I don't like being pinged in general, and especially on live streams, because if it's on a live stream, it makes me think that I need to panic, and like it's something very important, and I immediately go to check it, and it kind of just gets me into a not great mood. So, please don't ping me. Thank you. It makes a big difference on my mental health. I check Discord frequently enough, I'll see the messages. Oh, it was the oh, wow. Yeesh. That whole thing is just a tragedy, really. Make it bigger than, yeah, make the world larger. Hold on. We need to do that 1 XKCD thing where the earth grows by 1 centimeter every minute. Every second, not every minute, sorry. One of the actors had never ridden a horse. We were the same height, somewhat same build, so all the scenes where he's supposed to be on a horse is actually me in a full green suit. Nice. Funnier that it was easier to do that than to teach them how to ride a horse. I'm back. Tell me there is some stream left. No. Welcome back, Jack. Welcome back. We're mostly just refueling the engine and wrapping things up. I could pick up another job, but like, we'd probably go longer than I'd want to go if I did. So, horses are a pain in the butt, though. Why do you think we invented the train? We invented the train because wheels are a lot more efficient. But horses did not like having wheels on them. They were very annoyed by such a thing, and I don't get it. Why not? It made them move faster. Sometimes. Sometimes they just died. There we go. 10 tons of coal, baby. Should have just evolved wheels. Yeah, that's right. Skill issue. Horses should have just evolved wheels, guys. They should have. Why didn't they just do that? Come on now. Okay, so there's a little bit of an issue here. Hold on. I need to check something. This... It's supposed to be... Hold on. Uh-oh. We have an issue. Apparently this keyboard's num2 key is not... Have I really pressed it so much already? Swapping to the smug face that I've actually broken the key? Oh my goodness. Well, that's a problem. Alright, she is topped off. Let's get her all the way back to the sheds. Silence, nothing but silence. Yeah, that's just how the ends of these streams go. Quiet. If I don't have enough to bounce back off of, if chat doesn't move fast enough, sometimes it'll just be radio silence. ASMR watching water pour into a tender. Working on an HO Loco I just got, and there's a tiny pipe on my desk, and I can't figure out where it came from. Well, important question, does it look like a pipe that, came from the locomotive? Okay, no, it's like, tiny pipe. Are we talking... Does it look like something that would be on the boiler? Does it look like that it's actually something functional and mechanical? Running was invented by John Running in 1866, where he tried to walk twice at the same time. Also, anyone else here knew that the Pennsylvanian had Santa Fe locomotives, or is that just me? I think I knew that, because I remember the Pennsylvania and the Santa Fe had a Santa Fe-styled sleeping car that they actually ran through on one of their trains to, like, Chicago, or, like... something. Just a long distance cross country sleeper that went the whole way. No transfers, they would just move the car manually. Oh, Celestial, that wait a minute, is that from Portal 2? This sounds like a quote that the Facts Core would give off, you know? Okay, I'm really curious about this. Okay, it really does just seem that my, my smug hotkey is dead. Rest in pieces, I guess. You can no longer be smug. Nah, I can totally be smug. I'll just have to be smug looking the other direction. Easy fix. Just curious what mods you use? A lot. We have a very long list, including some personal mods that I was able to make, some that Mudge made, who often joins the stream. Right now, it's actually all mods that Mudge and I have made, now that I think of it. Uses every mod on Nexus modding. Ah, yeah, we have the Birdtown branch, too. Yes, that one mod that we'll totally use one day. We have, from me, the Silva Interchange Terminus and the Upper Cowie, and also a mod I haven't released, which is the Ela Y mod. And from Mudge, we have the Dillsboro Mines and the Ela Brewery. We also have some other mods for other things. We have some for trains, we have some for Alarka Junction and beyond, but we're not running them on this save, so... The 040's tender just rolled off my desk, despite sitting in the same spot for the past hour, and a step is now broken off. At least I know where that goes. This is why you get foam cradles. What about the ball sack mod? What ball sack mod? I'm very confused right now. I'm trying to end the stream, but now I'm really confused about what the heck the ball sacks are. To what ball sacks do you refer? Next loco planned for Rares Online after Mason Jr. will be the Mosca, though I don't know what to name it. I mean, you could go for the low-hanging fruit is Moscow. And I don't mean Moscow as in the city, I mean as in a cow covered in moss. Can't paint a white stripe on a locomotive if the spot I want to paint is covered by foam. TK, you flipped the locomotive upside down. If you can't reach the underside, Just flip the engine upside down. It's what the foam things are for. Oh god, right. The smug is not that hotkey. That is going to take so long to learn. Oh goodness. Well, I have a keyboard that I need to go fix. Thank you all for tuning in today, and I will see you all tomorrow. We will be having a 0130 video. There's some Halloween-related stuff that we'll be doing. I might see some of you on Friday. We will be having another bonus stream. I might see some of you on Sunday. I might never see some of you again. Who knows? Cheers, everybody. Take care, folks. See y'all around.